My name is Mark and this video is what's the issue? Okay, and it's the contrary to the previous video of what's the matter, and it's about what's the issue with my case. And the matter is dealt very clearly with the other one. Is I have a rigged trial, and the bare minimum in law is that I get a new trial before the SCC, and that's why I'm filing a mandamus. Okay, mandamus is there to correct the wrongs of when a lower body commits a crime. Okay, you file that through a mandamus, which is what I did. Now the other thing before the mandamus is the issue. Okay, and one is they have to issue a court date. Okay, and today is Friday. And we filed on Monday. Okay, yesterday I did a follow-up call, and my assistant in Ottawa did a follow-up visit. Okay, and as the lady says, no, they have received, and they recognize that they've been served a mandamus. And to quote the lady, there's an army of lawyers working on this right now. Okay. Now, the reason there's an army of lawyers working on it is one, it's only a theory in law that, they say never get busted or caught for rigging a trial, because it erodes the very confidence that people have in society. And it's greater than that. Biblical scholars have said, no, it's going to happen to the guy who is the prophet of our end times. Now, I'm outlining to them that that's exactly what's happening. Okay, in the paper, see, I have the mandamus itself is 9 pages long. That's it. Okay, 9 brand new pages, and the appendix here is of things that happened in the last 4 years. Okay, it's not everything, but this is another 100 pages here, and it's all on the website now. They said that they recognize that they received it on Monday. They're not using the electronic filing date for anything. They're even saying that they never even read it. Okay, but right now they're very interested in what's here. And the thing is I have a default judgment that's attached to my identity issue. Okay, and I do have this really screwed up birth identity, and it's on the back. It's the last page on this filing, and it's this statement of birth. Okay, where I have it's screwed up. I have the most screwed up birth statement, period, and technically I don't have a birth certificate. Okay, my birth number really is 000665, and it's in black ink. Which means I'm an asset to King George's registry, and they have to issue me they have to deal with my the issuing to me of an identity. Okay, through a certificate of some sort. Okay, like a birth certificate. Now, the problem with a birth certificate is I would be giving away the value of my damage award and the value of this bond that the king has. Okay, the filigree around this bond is not a block line, it's fancy filigree. Okay, and I know this is an ancient way of tabulating money through, how much money, the value of King George VI's registry. Well, as I say in the documents, the value of my damage award makes the value of this registry seem like small change. The value of my damage award fulfills an Isaiah 40 prophecy of reducing the world to a basket of sand. Okay, in terms of dollar values, I am told, apparently a Rockefeller Foundation says that there's 7 with 27 zeros after that grains of sand in the world. Okay, if the world was all made out of grains of sand. My damage award exceeds that. Okay, it's a hyperinflation index damage award that's perfectly legitimate, and that's what my case is pointing out, that this damage award is inextricably linked to my birth statement, because I'm worth more than my king. Okay, I'm worth more. I'm worth a billion times more than all the money in the world. So I'm walking into a courtroom and saying that this is my damage award. Technically, I am not surrendering to the courts. The courts surrender to me. The nature of my case is that in a default judgment, my first case was rigged. Well, was dropped. My second case was rigged. That means the damage award in my first case needs to be addressed at the Mandamus. And that's what I'm saying in the Mandamus, okay? They have to address whether the Crown can pay the bill if we ever went to court. And that's a really basic issue. And obviously they can't, okay? Now that means, now the quirk in my case, which you can read in the Mandamus, is it's only a 6-page document, that one, okay? Now, that my decision was handed while the writ was dropped, and that means the Chief Electoral Officer of Canada actually holds the liability, okay? Even though the case happened while Parliament was ruled, while the writs dropped is when he had it. Now, the Chief Electoral Officer in Canada, under what's called the supremacy of Parliament, which is actually King Henry VIII's registry. Okay, they dropped back a registry. That guy who's in charge of the Chief Electoral Officer, he is actually a natural person. He doesn't own a person. Well, I don't own a person. Okay, I'm a natural person as well, and he's apparently the only natural person in Canadian law. Well, you know what? This natural person owes me this damage award. Now, he's apparently the paper king of Canada. Okay, it really isn't the Governor General. That's just a fictitious title. The Chief Electoral Officer, especially while the writs dropped, is the King of Canada, the paper king of Canada. And he's supposed to uphold the law of the land and not maritime law, because we are governed under the law of the land. Under the supremacy of Parliament, we're governed under the supremacy of the law of maritime law. And we don't have to do that. In fact, it's against the law for the Chief Electoral Officer to administrate under maritime law. Now, the reality is I challenged this position 3 years ago. The damage award is on his shoulders, and if he can't pay it under Old English law, okay, I get his title. Okay, I become the Chief Electoral Officer of Canada. Now that makes me the paper king of Canada. Now that means that I'm there to uphold the rule of law, which is what I was suing him for. Now, please answer this question. I need it for my Supreme Court, for my appeals case, and he didn't answer it. So, one, he refuses to uphold the rule of law, and I will, okay? And as soon as I get his job, my damage award becomes Treasury notes. But it becomes Treasury notes in King George VI registry, because that's where I was born, okay? Now, that brings in a fact that instantly this damage award becomes Treasury notes. It's creatio ex nihilo, the creation from nothing, okay? All of a sudden this debt becomes a value. Now, what happens in law is, which is what they did, they fell back to the King George VI or VIII's registry back in 1989. Now what they're doing is falling back to King George VI registry. Now in King George VI registry, what happens is the Queen would have to appoint one of her sons to be the king of the Commonwealth Registry, because that's where the money is, okay? Now, I'm a CEO of Elections Canada. Now, in Isaiah 3, there's a line there that says that the nobody will rise and say to one of his brothers in his father's house, you take this cloak, you rule this heap of ruins, never make me leader of people. Well, that's exactly what's happening with this Mandamus. Since he can't pay the bill, I become the king. This damage award, which is this cloak, becomes treasury notes, instantly converts to treasury notes. I hand it to one of the descendants that Queen Elizabeth picks, who now becomes the king of the Commonwealth Empire. I give him this damage award because all I am is like a prince, okay, in the order, pecking order of things. So I have to give it to him, no problem there. That's what the prophecy says. And in order for those treasury notes to be validated, he has to take mom's debt. In other words, the queen hands him all her treasures because he's now ascending to the throne, and he can pay off all this debt. Okay, and that's a line in Isaiah 4, which says, 7 wicked women will want to take hold of one man and say, we will feed and take care of our own, just take away our disgrace. Now what happens is there is, in law, okay, the tribunal that comes out of this Mandamus, they will seize my treasury, my bank account, my damage award, and they will become the exchequers of the estate, of the Commonwealth estate. Because now the only way the estate can have solid ground is to pay off all the debt of the world, because technically that is the debt in the world. And it's called the redemption of all debt in the world, and it fulfills an Isaiah 40 prophecy of, I'm the one who delivers the message from Zion, and I create a form of currency that will never rot. If we start to uphold God's creation as our way of making money, okay, the only way we can make money is by bettering the creation. In other words, you form a form of currency that will never rot. Okay, okay, we're returning to paradise on earth. We return to where armies will no longer be necessary because everyone's on the same wavelength. We're no longer, my God no longer makes me better than you. We're all upholding God's creation. Now, what the damage award does is, put this in your head, okay? Everyone today lives in a world where gold is valuable and we place all our value in gold, okay? Well, you know what? After this damage award is received, everything around you will become valuable, which is what it is, okay? Everything around you is valuable, but everything around you will have tangible value. That's what the value of the world will be based on, is everything. Now, it fulfills upholding God's creation fulfills the promise of the Lord's Prayer, where it will be the same order to things on earth as it will be in heaven. Okay? It really will be. In heaven, they uphold God's creation, and they know true godliness, and that's what will happen to here. And the biggest thing is Romans 13. It says there that there will be a messenger who has a double-edged blade, and you are to do good. For if you do not, he does not carry this sword for nothing. And then it says, when all the debt in the world is paid. It doesn't say if. When all the debt in the world is paid, the only remaining debt will be the eternal debt of love for our neighbor. Okay? Now, I'm saying that that's contained in the Word of God, which is the new covenant, which is to uphold God's creation. Okay? The creation is the Word of God. And love conquers all. And it happens by the get happy of the world's debt being paid. And everybody going, excuse me, my credit card's paid? Yeah, it was all fraud. My house is paid? Yeah, that's all fraud. And in the States, it'll be, the house I lost 6 months ago, can I go back? Oh, yeah, go back, and it's all fraud. Go back, okay? Now, the forgiving of the redemption of all debt takes such a load off everyone's shoulder. And they're going to go, what's the catch? Well, we have to take care of the planet. We've got to become the caretakers of the planet. And it fulfills the promise of returning to paradise on earth. And the huge get happy from the payment of debt triggers the empowerment in the Word of God. And we slip into paradise on earth. So that's the issue before this case, okay? I am making an offer that in law, okay, in law, they have to look at this and actually say that, address my damage award. And in law, it can be done. Now, in law, if anybody resists, well, it can't be done. But why not pay all the debt in the world? It's a perfectly legitimate way to get out of the mess we are in. Okay? Money's supposed to serve mankind. We're not supposed to serve money. Okay? If money becomes really irrelevant in this new reality, well, great. Great, we're returning to paradise on earth. The offer is to return to paradise on earth. And that's what the Supreme Court of Canada is facing. And it would fulfill the biblical prophecy of being done in one day. Okay? And on that, I'll have to do another video. It's impossible to deal with the depth of this. But go to the website, read it, okay? It's not a big read. The 100-page read is a big read, okay? This here. But the Mandamus itself is only 9 pages. And it's supposed to capture your imagination. And what I'm saying is going to happen is the biggest evolutionary mankind ever had. 90% of that dormant part of your brain is going to awaken in the blink of an eye. We all shine on like the moon, the stars, and the sun, which is a Lenin quote, but it's actually an Isaiah prophecy of our end times, of when we return to the garden. And on that, it's really good news, okay? The Supreme Court of Canada is actually looking at this. And at this moment, an army of lawyers is doing what they're doing. And again, I'll have to bring this up, but it is good news, okay? It wasn't a no, because had it been a no, I would have heard it by now. The verbal confirmation is exceptionally positive. And on that, be careful of what you wish for, because it just might come true. We're entering paradise on earth, whether you like it or not. Thank you very much.